Good morning. Properties of isomorphisms. Suppose F is an isomorphism from a group G onto a group G dash. Then the first property is if F carries the identity element of G to the identity element of G dash. Second, for every integer n and for every group element A in G, F a raised to power n is equal to F a whole raised to power n. This property we proved for homomorphisms also. Next is for any element A and B in G, A and B commute if and only if FA and FB commute. Fourth is if G is a cyclic group generated by A, if and only if G dash is a cyclic group generated by FA. Next is order of A is equal to order of FA for all A in G, means isomorphisms preserve orders. Next property is for a fixed integer k and a fixed group element b in G, the equation x raised to k equal to b has the same number of solutions in G as does the equation x raised to k equal to fb in G dash. Next is if G is finite, then G and G dash have exactly the same number of elements of every order. So first property of isomorphism is that F carries the identity element of G to the identity element of G dash. Let E be the identity element of a group G and E dash be the identity element of group G dash. Then we may write E dash into FA as FA because E dash is the identity element of G dash and FA is also the element of G dash. Also, A belongs to G and E is the identity element of G, therefore A equal to EA. So this is equal to F of EA. But F is an isomorphism, so it is composition preserving, therefore we can write FEA equal to FE into FA. If we apply right cancellation law here, we can cancel FA on both sides and we are left with E dash equal to FE or FE equal to E dash. It means F carries the identity of G, the E is the identity of G to identity of G dash. E dash is the identity of G dash. Now next property is for every integer n and for every group element A in G, F raised to power n is equal to FA whole raised to power n. Suppose first that n is a positive integer greater than 0. We will use the principle of mathematical induction to prove the result for the positive integers. Suppose n is equal to 2. N equal to 2 means f of, we substitute n equal to 2 here, f of a square is equal to fa, if we put n equal to 2 here, fa whole square. So f of a square is equal to f of a into f a. A square can be written as a into a. It means this is equal to fa into fa because f is isomorphism and it is composition preserving. So we may write FAA equal to FA into FA. And FA into FA is nothing but FA whole square. So we have proved this result this result is clearly true for n equal to 2. If we substituted n equal to 2, we had f of a square equal to f of a whole square. So this result is true. This result is true for n equal to 2. Now we assume that this result is true for n equal to k. It means f of a raised to power k is equal to fa whole raised to power k. Now we will show that this result is true for n equal to k plus 1. So f of a raised to power k plus 1 is equal to f of ak into a. A raised to power k plus 1 can be written as a raised to power k into a. And this is equal to f of a raised power k into fa, because f is composition preserving and f is a isomorphism. And f of a raised power k is equal to fa whole raised power k, because we have assumed the result for n equal to k. For n equal to k, f of a raised power k is equal to fa whole raised power k. So fa raised power k can be written as fa whole raised power k, and this is fa. And fa whole raised power k into fa is nothing but fa raised power k plus 1. So if n is a so we have proved the result for n equal to k plus 1. It means if the result is true for n equal to 1, and if we assume the result to be true for k plus for n equal to k and prove it to be true for n equal to k plus 1, then by the principle of mathematical induction, the result is true for every integer n, uh, for n greater than 0, which we have assumed here. So it means for every positive integer n, f of a raised power n is equal to fa whole raised power n. If n is negative, then minus n is positive. It means if we use first property states that isomorphism carries identity element of G to identity element of G dash. It means Fe equal to E dash or E dash equal to Fe. But E can be written as f of G raised power n into G raised power minus n. If G is the element of G, then G raised power n also belongs to G, and its inverse also exists in G. So this may be written as G raised power n into G raised power n minus n. But f is a isomorphism and is composition preserving, therefore f of G raised power n into f of G raised power minus n. But minus n is a positive integer. Therefore, and we have proved the result for positive integer that if n is a positive integer, then f of a raised power n is equal to fa whole raised power n. So f of G raised power minus n is equal to f of G raised power whole raised power minus n. So if we multiply both sides by fg raised power n, we get fg raised power n e dash into fg raised power n is equal to fg raised power n, because e dash is the identity element of g dash. Also, if we multiply by fg raised power n here, then fg raised power minus n into fg raised power n is the identity element, because fg is the element of g dash and g dash is a group, so every element of group possesses its inverse. So fg minus n into fgn is equal to identity element, because fg minus n is the inverse of fg raised power n. So here we have identity element. So fg raised power n into identity element is fg raised power n. So fg whole raised power n is equal to fg raised power n. So the result is true for negative integers also. Now for n equal to 0. Here the operation is multiplication. So multiplicative identity is nothing but 1. So if we put n equal to 0 here, it means a raised power 0 is 1. If we put fa raised power n, if n is 0, then fa raised power 0 is 1. So it reduces to f1 equal to 1. Because since the operation is multiplication, 1 is the unit element of G and 1 is also the unit element of G dash. It holds as f carries the identity of G to the identity of G dash. So this is the result when operation is multiplication. If the group operation is addition, then this property can be rewritten as f of na is equal to n fa. F of na means f of a plus a plus a n times. NFA means fa plus fa plus fa n times. So f na equal to n fa. For any element a and b in G, a and b commute if and only if fa and fb commute. Let A and B commute in G. It means AB is equal to BA. Here A and B are elements of G, and G is a group. It means AB also belongs to G because G is closed under the given operation. And BA also belongs to G because closure axiom is satisfied in G, because B and A are also element of G. Because AB is equal to BA, this is possible only if f of AB equal to f of BA, because f is 1, 1. Since f is an isomorphism, so it must be 1, 1. And this is possible if and only if FA into FB is equal to FB into FA, because isomorphism preserves group operation. So FAB is equal to FA into FB, FBA equal to FB into FA. It means FA and FB commute. So if A and B are elements of G, then A and B commute if and only if FA and FB commute. Now, G is a cyclic group generated by A if and only if G dash is also a cyclic group generated by FA. Let G be a cyclic group generated by A. I have denoted by writing A within the round bracket. It means it is a cyclic group generated by A. Now by closure property, FA, cyclic group generated by FA, is a subset of G dash. Because F is onto, for any element B in G dash, there is an element A raised per K in G such that F of A raised per K equal to B. This is by the property of isomorphism, because if F is isomorphism, then F is onto. And elements in G are generated by A, therefore elements of G are of the form A square, A cube, A4 and so on. So F A raised per K equal to B means B equal to F raised per F of AK. And this F A raised per K is equal to F A whole raised per K. Because we have proved that for every integer n, F A raised per n is equal to F A whole raised per n. So F A raised per K is equal to F A whole raised per K. And it means B belongs to cyclic group generated by FA, because elements of cyclic group FA are FA square, FA whole cube, FA whole raised by 4 and so on. It means G dash is a subset of cyclic group FA, because B was the element of G dash and we have proved that B is an element of cyclic group FA. It means G dash is a subset of FA. But we have already proved that FA is a subset of G dash. It means if A is a subset of B, B is a subset of A, this is possible only if A equal to B. So FA is a subset of G dash is a subset of cyclic group FA. It means G dash is equal to cyclic group generated by FA. Now suppose that G dash is a cyclic group generated by FA. Now clearly, cyclic group generated by A is a subset of G by the closure axiom. And cyclic group generated by A is nothing but A square, A cube and so on. For any element B in G, we have FB belonging to FA. Cyclic group generated by FA, because F is onto. So for some integer K, we must have FB equal to FA raised to whole K, because elements of cyclic group FA are of the form FA square, FA whole cube, FA whole 4 and so on. So FB will be equal to FA whole raised to K, and this is equal to FA raised to K, because F is an isomorphism and we have proved the result that FA raised to n is equal to FA whole raised to n. So FB is equal to FAK means B equal to AK, because F is 1, 1 being an isomorphism. It means G is a subset of cyclic group generated by A. And we have already shown that cyclic group A is a subset of G. It means cyclic group A is equal to G, because if A is a subset of B, then B is a subset of A. So this property states that isomorphism to cyclic groups take generator to generator. Here generator is A, here generator is Fa. A is a generator of G, cyclic group G, and Fa is a generator of cyclic group G dash. So homomorphism takes generator of G to generator of G dash. Now next property is order of A is equal to order of Fa for all A in G. And this property means that isomorphism preserves order. Whatever be the element of A in G, same will be the order of its image in G dash. Let E be the identity of G, and this means Fe is the identity of G dash, because by first property isomorphism takes identity of G to identity of G dash. Let the order of A be finite. Suppose the order of A is n. It means by the definition of order of an element that A raised to power n is equal to E. And it means f of A raised to power n equal to Fe, because f is 1, 1. And this implies Fa whole raised to power n is equal to Fe, because f is an isomorphism, and we have proved that f of A raised to power n equal to Fa whole raised to power n. So Fa raised to power n equal to Fa whole raised to power n. And by definition of Fe is the identity element of G dash. So by definition of order of an element, order of Fa equal to n. Now if the order of A is infinite, then the order of Fa cannot be finite, because if we assume order of Fa to be finite and we assume that its order is m, then it means that order of Fa raised to power m equal to Fe by definition of order of an element, because Fe is the identity element of G dash. And Fa raised to power m is nothing but Fa raised to power m, and because F is isomorphism, it is also 1, 1. So Fa raised to power m equal to Fe implies A raised to power m equal to E. But this is a contradiction, because by this equation it means that order of A is m. But we have assumed that order of A is infinite. So this is not possible. Hence the order of Fa cannot be finite. This implies the order of Fa is infinite. So we have proved that order of A is equal to order of Fa for all A in G. It means isomorphism preserves the order. Whatever will be the whatever is the order of A in order of an element in G, same will be the order of its image in G dash. Now for a fixed integer k and a fixed group element B in G, the equation x raised to power k equal to b has the same number of solutions in G as does the equation x raised to power k equal to fb in G dash. Let A be the solution of x raised to power k equal to b in G. It means A satisfies this equation, means if we substitute x equal to A, then also the equation is true. So A is the solution of x raised to power k equal to b, means A raised to power k equal to b. But f is 1, 1 because it is an isomorphism. It means f of ak equal to f of b. But f of A raised to power k is equal to fa whole raised to power k, because we have proved this result because f is an isomorphism and fa raised to power n is equal to fa whole raised to power n. So fa whole raised to power k equal to f of p. It means fa satisfies the equation y raised to power k equal to b. It means fa is the solution of y raised to power k in G dash. So for every solution A belonging to G of the first equation, we have obtained uh, the solution of the second equation, which is Fa belonging to G dash. Now suppose the other way around. Suppose y belongs to G dash is the solution of x raised power k equal to Fp. It means y satisfies this equation, means y raised by k equal to Fp. Since f is onto, there is an element x belonging to G such that fx equal to y. And this implies fx whole raised by k equal to y raised by k. And this implies fx raised by k is equal to fb, because fx whole raised by k is equal to f of x raised by k whenever f is an isomorphism. And this implies xk equal to b since f is 1, 1. fx raised by k equal to fb implies x raised by k equal to b. It means if y belonging to G dash is the solution of second equation, then x belonging to G is the solution of first equation. So for every element y belonging to G dash, we have obtained the solution x belonging to G of first equation. Because f is 1 to 1, we have as many x as y, and the number of solution of the two equations are equal. So this property is also very important from the point of view that it is useful in proving that two groups are not isomorphic. Suppose, for example, we consider C star and R star. C star means we have excluded the zero element of C. C means set of complex numbers from the set. R star means we have excluded the zero from the set of real numbers, because if we will include the zero, then it will not be a group. So I have denoted the set of complex numbers minus 0 by 0 C star, and set of real numbers minus 0 by R star. Now the equation x raised by 4 equal to 1 has 4 solutions in C star, but only 2 solution in R star, because in R star x square equal to 1 and x equal to plus minus 1 is the only solution, x equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1. But for the in the set of complex numbers, x equal to iota, x equal to minus iota, x equal to 1, x equal to minus 1 are the 4 solutions of this equation. So if C star is a group of complex numbers in which 0 is not included, and R star is a group of real number in which 0 is not included, then the number of solutions in C star is different from the number of solutions in R star. So the two groups cannot be isomorphic, because if f is an isomorphism, we have proved that that the equation x raised by k equal to b has the same number of solution in G as does the equation x raised by k equal to fb in G dash. So the equation x raised by 4 equal to 1 has 4 solution in C star, but only 2 solution in R star. No matter how one attempts to define an isomorphism from C star to R star. So property 6 cannot hold. Hence no isomorphism exists between the two, because the equation x raised by 4 has different number of solutions in each group. So next is, if G is finite, then G and G dash have exactly the same number of elements of every order. Proof of this equation for this property follows using the property 5, which states that isomorphisms preserves order, that is order of A is equal to order of FA for all A in G. This can be proved easily. Now the properties of isomorphism acting on groups. Suppose that F is an isomorphism from a group G onto group G dash. Then F inverse is also an isomorphism from G dash to G dash onto G. Here word is onto. G is abelian if and only if G dash is abelian. G is cyclic if and only if G dash is cyclic. If K is a subgroup of G, then Fk equal to Fk such that K belongs to K is a subgroup of G dash. Now first property is F inverse is an isomorphism from G dash to onto G. Since F is 1 to 1 and onto, for every y belonging to G dash, there is an unique x belonging to G such that Fx equal to y. And it means x is equal to F inverse y, means F inverse y equal to x. Because x is equal to y and then F inverse y equal to x, it means F inverse is also 1 to 1. Also F inverse of Fx is equal to x. So it means F is also onto. So now we have shown that F is 1, 1 as well as onto. Now we need to show the homomorphism property of F inverse, that is F inverse AB is equal to F inverse A into F inverse B. Let Fx is equal to A. So F inverse A equal to x. Let Fy equal to B. So F inverse B equal to y. Then substituting for A and B, we get F inverse AB equal to F inverse Fx into Fy. And Fx into Fy means Fxy. Because F is an isomorphism and it is composition preserving. And F inverse F of xy means F inverse F of xy, and this is equal to xy because F inverse F is the identity element. So it means x is equal to F inverse A and y is equal to F inverse B. So this is equal to F inverse A into F inverse B. Therefore, F inverse is an isomorphism from G dash to G. Now G is abelian if and only if G dash is abelian. Let A and B belongs to G. Since G is abelian, it means AB equal to BA for all AB belonging to G. And this is possible if and only if F of AB equal to F of BA, because F is 1, 1. AB is the element of G, BA is also the element of G because G is closed under the given group operation. So AB equal to BA is possible if and only if F of AB equal to F of BA. F is 1, 1. And it means F of A into F of B is equal to F of B into F of A, because F preserves isomorphism. So F of A into F of B is equal to F of A into F of B. Also, we have proved that isomorphism preserves commutativity in the properties in previous slides. And this is possible if and only if FA and FB commute. And it means G dash is if and only if G dash is abelian. Now G is cyclic if and only if G dash is cyclic. Let G be cyclic and A be its generator. Hence G is equal to A. Because A is the generator of cyclic group, therefore there exists n belonging to n such that A raised to n equal to x. And it means F of A raised to n is equal to F of x because F is 1, 1. And it means F of A whole raised to n equal to Fx, because we have proved that for every integer n, F of A raised to n equal to Fa whole raised to n. And it means F of A whole raised to n generates all the elements of G dash. Because isomorphisms preserve order and G is equal to G is a cyclic group generated by A if and only if G dash is cyclic group generated by Fa. And if this is possible only if G dash is cyclic. Now the last property is if K is a subgroup of G, then Fk equal to Fk, where K is the element of capital K, K is a group here. So, in fact, it is a subgroup of G, is a subgroup of G dash. We will prove that this Fk, which is defined as the set of all Fk, where K is the element of K, is a subgroup of G dash. Because K is a subgroup of G, therefore it must contain an identity element. So E dash belongs to Fk, so Fk is non-empty. Let K1, K2 belongs to K. Because K is a subgroup, therefore K1, K2 inverse also belongs to K. And by the definition of Fk, because K1, K2 are elements of K, therefore Fk1 and Fk2 are elements of Fk. Therefore Fk1, Fk2 belongs to Fk. Because K2 inverse belongs to K, because K is a subgroup, therefore it possesses inverse of each of its elements. Therefore f of K2 inverse belongs to Fk. So Fk1 into Fk2 inverse is equal to Fk1 K2 inverse, and K1 K2 inverse is the element of K, therefore Fk1 K2 inverse belongs to Fk. This implies Fk is a subgroup of G dash. So results proved in previous slide show that isomorphic groups have many properties in common. Actually, the definition is precisely formulated so that isomorphic group have all group theoretic properties in common. But by this we mean that if two groups are isomorphic, then any property that can be expressed in the language of group theory is true for one if and only if it is true for the other. This is why algebraists speak of isomorphic groups as equal or the same. Admittedly, calling such groups are equivalent rather than the same, and it might be more appropriate, but we bow to the long standing tradition because we call these equal or the same. Thank you.